The Future of Generative AI by Tim Kaine himself. Let's give it a watch.
Hi everyone, it's me, Tim. Today I want to talk about the future of generative AI. And already I know people's hackles are rising. But I'm going to make this a fun Friday because I want to talk about what I think is coming down the pipe. And I wanted to talk about this because despite the fact that I know many of you hate it, it's coming. Technology has never been bottled up once it's been created.
That 100%, whether you like it or not, that is true.
So it's coming. It is going to arrive. And I'm going to base what I think is going to show up in both the game industry and beyond on watching technology change in the game industry for the last 45 years and my own PhD work in artificial intelligence in the late 80s and early 90s.
So dude is, like I said, extremely qualified. Extremely qualified. He been doing this for a long time.
So I've already talked about artificial intelligence in general and my experience working on it in a video called Artificial Intelligence, which is linked in the description. I've also talked about the effects of artificial intelligence and technology in general on the game industry and other industries where it has actually disrupted them and eliminated them. There are industries that existed when I was a child that don't exist anymore. Same thing's going to happen to you. That's in a video called Technology Changes Jobs. I've also talked specifically about the game industry, AI, layoffs, which is caused in part to AI, but for a lot of other reasons too, in yet another video called Industry Changes. That's all.
Yeah, he's got a lot of videos, and in my opinion, I think he has the best video game takes and video game content commentary on the internet. I love Tim Kaine. I think he is. I have a high level of respect for him.
Also linked below. Feel free to watch those, discuss those in those videos. This particular video is me talking about what I think generative AI will lead to in the very near future, because I think this stuff is going to happen fast. If you want the high level,
it's coming. Let's be honest with ourselves.
I think generative AI is going to get much faster and much better. It is going to become so better that it is going to be reactive to you in real time across a bunch of industries. And therefore, it's going to have to be regulated. So let's dive in and talk about what all this means.
Will it be regulated, though? Will it? I don't think so.
I want to give it as examples because these are things I see coming very soon. Imagine you're watching a TV show on your smart TV. And let's say it's a sitcom. And you're watching it and you're like, I don't really like the main character, this mechanic guy.
No.
I want him to be a lawyer.
No. Don't fuck.
Bam. Instant change. He's now a lawyer. Hey, I want the setting to be different. Obviously it's not going to be a gas station, but I only want part of it to be at his office, and I want the other part to be his home life. Boom. Setting changes. And also, now all the jokes need to be changed because there were a lot of blue-collar jokes, and now I want a lot of funny legalesque jokes. Boom, those all change. While you're watching, it will change the sitcom to all of that.
What the fuck did he just say? This is somebody that has a lot of knowledge about artificial intelligence and technology. So, I mean, these are his views, but that's going with everything that he knows. That is scary as shit, man. That is the end of artistic expression as we know it.
Maybe it'll explain the changes, or maybe it'll just instantly switch it over. Maybe you have to ask. Maybe it'll ask you which one of those you want. Or maybe you're watching an old sitcom. Maybe you're a big fan of Friends or Community or The Good Place. All TV shows that have had their run and are done. Maybe you can feed those episodes into an AI and it will generate new episodes for you to enjoy. You can just keep watching it as if it never went off the air in whatever time period it existed in. Or you can ask them to modernize it, saying, hey, I want to see Friends, but I want to see them as if those people were living today in 2026.
Oh my God.
Show me what a Friends episode would be for that.
Lord.
Or show me multiple episodes. Similarly, I think that would be something you're going to see a lot in games.
I mean, credit to Tim for explaining this in the demeanor which he is, because he's literally describing, I mean, the video is not even halfway over, but he's describing a dystopian future in a just very matter-of-fact way, and I feel there's a little bit of comedy in that, but also not at the same time.
Games. You like a game and you want more content, it'll just generate it. Like a game but think it's got a weak storyline, change it. Like a game except for some of its mechanics, change them. Just say, hey, I want...
Oh, you don't like this game? You fucking make it. Like, what? Where? So, I mean, that kind of does solidify the point that AI has killed gaming. It's not like, oh, it's too expensive, or only rich people or people with extreme means have the disposable income to even have the chance to enjoy video games. It's not any of that. It's just that AI is killing it. Like, oh, you don't like a game, you could change the game, you could do this. I mean, that's my main concern about with this Microsoft Copilot and the soon to follow what PlayStation is going to implement in theirs as well, because every company is just shoving AIs into everything. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the memes and the skits of people like, oh, just put an AI into this, put an AI into that. And it sounds funny when they do it that way, but at the same time, it's like that's what they are doing. And if you have a game that you could literally just change through AI, I mean, everything that I love about games is pretty much done at that point. Like I said, this is the end to artistic expression. This is just computer generated. I mean, we'll see.
Fast travel, but only between cities. I don't want quest markers, but I do want quest log. Boom, 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 boom. All that, the game will just change right there immediately for you. This is especially going to be useful for those of you who like MMOs that are no longer available. Their servers are offline. Have an AI make a local server for you. Great, now you can play it again. Oh, it's empty? Fill it with AI players. You know, have it watch videos of people who have played that game and just fill it up with players that it mimics their personalities. Then you can just keep enjoying it yourself. Maybe you're studying something complicated like Plato or Aristotle or virtue ethics, and you're finding the original Greek hard to read. You're finding the English translations of the Greek hard to read. Why not spin up an AI, have it read all of those documents, and then create a 21st century Plato that can explain all that to you conversationally in modern vernacular English? Think of the topics you could learn.
Now, that is, in theory, a really, really helpful and good idea. The only problem that I see, and that other people have pointed out as well, is if it comes to theology or anything like within that realm, the AI has blockers and triggers in it to either leave out or add information that may not be a direct translation. I mean, that is factual because it has been proven through Claude's code that got into the wrong hands and they were kind of breaking it down. That was an interesting story, if you heard about that one. So yes, he is correct. And I'm not criticizing what Tim is saying at all, because I value what he's saying. He's saying where he thinks it's going to go. And he's 100% right, I think. But I'm just thinking of like what the repercussions are and what my opinions are on the matter too. So in his exact analogy of that, of, you know, Greek, I'm thinking like mythology and things of that nature, of things of being lost in translation, and AI has the power to to ultimately see how that information is translated. And that's where I personally have a problem, because we're not in control. And when we lose control, we lose freedom. And we lose freedom, that's pretty much what we live for.
Any topic. You could learn particle physics. You could learn philosophy. You could learn any branch of mathematics you wanted, as generally or as specifically as you want, as slowly or as quickly as you need, as high level, as low level, whatever, as many examples, visual or not, that you need to learn how to do that. It goes way beyond that, though. I'm looking forward to having my own personal AI diagnostician. I don't think I can have a surgeon or a doctor yet, but I want somebody who knows all of my issues, so I'm not constantly re-explaining it every single time my insurance changes and I have to switch doctors. Maybe I'd like a nutritionist or a trainer who's been with me for years, who knows my entire case history, knows what my goals are, knows...
I mean, again, my thing is like, all of these things are great. They are conveniences, but the main point is that it takes you having to think for yourself away entirely. It's like, is the average person that busy where you need an AI assistant just to manage everyday things? I mean, I think it's kind of ridiculous, and just like the way that
hey, my body didn't do well with
kind of dumb
intermittent fasting, but it loved keto. Figure out why and offer me a diet based on that, rather than just have a new nutritionist tell me no.
You can already do that through Google search. I mean,
no,
not even AI. I mean, Google's got an AI, but you know what I'm saying.
You didn't do intermittent fasting right. Let's do it. We waste 6 months, and bam. She's like, I guess intermittent fasting doesn't work on you. Yeah. You're removed. I want my AI nutritionist who's already seen all this data. But it's more than that. What about travel? How many times have you spent a ton of money to go somewhere and the flight was delayed? Or whether it rained the entire time you were there, or you got sick and couldn't do it right then, and all that money's gone. Why not just do that trip in VR? Because I think all this stuff, all this generative AI is not only coming to your phone and your tablet and your computer and your TV and your monitor.
I've never used VR. I haven't done any VR video games. I always thought VR was kind of dumb. VR is stupid in my opinion.
But wall size screens, VR, holograms, AR, whatever they're going to do, I think that's going to be coming down the pipe. Now that's probably farther along. You're going to see flat 2D entertainment before it goes 3D, but it's coming. And eventually, I mean, I used to have a 3D printer. I follow 3D printing still. Once they get 3D printers working in lots of different materials, say textiles, food, or just if they eventually can get 3D printing working just molecularly, then at some point your house is going to provide everything you want. Not just entertainment, but your food, your clothing, your furniture, your...
And by this point, everything is going to be interconnected, and that's the downside that, people aren't really taken into consideration strongly enough.
Anything you need. The only thing that will come into the house...
Centralized, in a sense.
House would probably be power and maybe water, although maybe it can make that too. This is going to be an interesting time. I don't know if... some of the things I've described are probably going to be here in a year or two. Other things are going to take a lot longer. But eventually this is all going to happen. And so, yeah, it'll need to be regulated. Because top of my mind as a creator is, how are creators going to get paid? I have a vested interest in knowing what this is. I think some of this will be handled by, you can make patterns. So you don't make clothing anymore, but you make clothing patterns that people buy. And then if someone prints clothing with your pattern on it, you get some money or credits or whatever you use to do all this stuff. As someone who has used a lot of voiceover in my career, and I have a very provocatively titled video called Sometimes I Hate Voiceover, and if you please go watch it, I'll link it below. I have very good reasons for why sometimes voiceover stuff has just pissed me off. and I didn't want it, or I wanted it in a different way than what was available. Watch that video, because generative AI could give me what I wanted, but I would like to know how the original voice actor will get paid. I want to pay them, but then use it differently. I want all that figured out. By the way, when games went digital and they were sold online, or you could, you download them to get them, there was a disruption. I was personally affected because I had a contract that didn't mention digital. It mentioned physical specifically. I know actors who were affected when TV shows went on to DVD box sets or were streamed, and suddenly they weren't getting residuals because their contract didn't say that. That was figured out then. This stuff will be figured out now. I think if you own a game or a TV show box set or book or something, you should be allowed to feed it into a local AI that you have and get extensions to it. Make extra chapters, make extra episodes or content for your own personal use. If you want to make those extensions, mods, whatever, extra episodes, whatever you want to call them, and sell them, then you have to get a license, because you are using that content and then selling it. You get a chunk, but so do the original creators get a chunk. I think this will all get worked out. It's been worked out in the past. It'll be worked out in the future. I think there will be issues with how it works out, and we'll get through those things as well. And the reason I think it will be is because we have to. This is technology, and it's not going to get bottled back up. I'm looking forward to this. I'm curious how far this goes before I'm not able...
Disagree. Have to disagree.
...to take advantage of it myself. Anyway, I think generative AI is going to trend in a lot of ways that are really hard to predict right now. That was my prediction. It's my Fun Friday prediction. I hope you liked it. I expect a very vivacious comment section. Have a good Friday.
All right, Tim. Thank you for sharing. I will just say that I am not as enthused as Tim is about this, but I do value his opinion because he definitely knows what he's talking about. Those are some of his opinions of what he thinks could happen. I'm hoping that pretty much none of them happen. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm against AI. I don't think that AI is being used for good. Well, I don't want to say I'm against AI. I'm against the rapid acceleration of it, and the downsides I really do feel outweigh the good sides. So, anyways, that was the video of the future of generative AI, and thanks for watching. Appreciate you.